Welcome to program Pulse and Dance. I'm Valentina Kozlova, founder of VKDF and VKIBC. And let's get started. Today on Pulse and Dance, I have Greg Miller, founder of Dance Parade, perhaps the biggest, almost massive event and very successful. So, welcome.
Thank you so much. Great to be here with you.
Thank you. Greg, you're building and continue to build dance movement without being yourself a dancer, correct?
Well, I dance almost every week, continuously for the last 25 years, but no one would want to pay me as a dancer. So if you think of yourself that way, absolutely, I'm not a dancer. But I practice something called the 5 Rhythms, which is a movement practice at the Joffrey Ballet.
Oh, Joffrey.
That's where we rent the studio and often in other places. And it's a movement practice that goes through flow, staccato, chaos, lyrical, and stillness in a wave of music, a 2-hour class that I've been doing. But you're right, I have a business background. I got into the nonprofit world about 30 years ago, and this is 20 years of Dance Parade. So I've come to know many artists. I don't claim to be a dancer in the formal sense, and I very much appreciate your background in ballet. It's extraordinary, and I have conversations with a lot of luminaries like Carmen de Lavallade and Mark Morris and Virginia Johnson and all of these people that come through our event. It's really amazing, and I'm humbled to be here with you now, but also to be, with them on their journeys in their careers.
So why did you start this? What motivated, what inspired you to start Dance Parade? It's an extremely interesting concept because we have festivals, we have competitions, professional competitions, non-professional competitions, performances. Can you tell me the backstory?
Sure.
Okay.
It's an interesting backstory.
Yeah.
So in my professional life, my last corporate job was with Revlon, and they laid off 2,000 employees. I was with them. I got a great severance package, and I was doing finance for them and still dancing, and I had time, and I was like, what do I want to do next? Do I want to do more corporate work? And I didn't want to do more corporate work. I volunteered to join a group of advocates for dancers' rights. So we had at the time 4 groups of dancers that were suing the city of New York for infringing on their rights as dancers because there was a cabaret law that required venues to have a license for dancing. And so Peter Martins from the NYCB was there as representing one of the 4 groups, and other disparate forms of dance like goth dancing, country and western, and I think swing dancing was the 4th one. And this was at in Madison Square Park. We had a dance marathon for 24 hours on the coldest day of the year. We were in front of the state Supreme Court, and they did their case, and we didn't know what would happen, if they would win or lose, but I wanted to do something bigger, and we did the Dance Parade as the next thing to get more attention about that. So it got worldwide press. We were on the cover of like Time Out magazine, for example, Dance Revolution and things like that. And so that became the backbone of how we started. We repealed the Cabaret Law in 2017, and the zoning that was connected to that, you can only dance in certain parts of the city legally, that got reformed in 2024. Still it goes on, the advocacy. There's still the state that will soon pass the budget, we hope, in the next week. But unfortunately, the they will have the license for dancing in restaurants, bars, and nightclubs again.
Fortunately.
So, unfortunately, because we believe dancing is a First Amendment right.
Right.
You shouldn't need a license for it.
Yeah, that's interesting because you go to restaurants, bars, jazz clubs, music, and of course singing is allowed. I believe many years prior there was a tap dancing, all sorts of stuff. So what changed all of a sudden it was not allowed?
Well, it actually was not allowed since, or it was restricted in 1926
Okay.
during the Prohibition times,
Right,
very
right.
conservative times. And the license went on through the decades as something that wasn't always enforced. Sometimes it also affected musicians. They used to have cards that said that they were a musician, a licensed musician, and you had to be of a certain character to be considered a musician, or a certain character to be a dancer. And those kinds of things, are controversial, and some people said racist. And then it went on until, the 60s and the 70s, and no politician wanted to change the law. Mayor Giuliani actually enforced the law and had dance police, and they would, in the form of a cabaret task force. So they would go into bars, clubs, restaurants, and stop people from dancing, or basically find the venue to get shut down. Swing 46 was, a ballroom swing dancing place, and they got shut down because of illegal dancing.
But what makes so illegal in dancing?
It was an activity that I think, was seen as 100 years ago. It was, devil's work to be staring at a woman that you weren't married to, to dance with them. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay, we're
Right?
not 2026.
Right.
Can we move forward, you think?
Absolutely. And hopefully Dance Parade can continue to be a part of that message that, it's okay to dance. It is healthy to dance. A lot of people don't dance until they have a few drinks. And as well as I know, that it's wonderful to dance. And you don't need to be shy when you move and when you dance. It's a good thing.
It is a good thing because in general, whether there's a bad situation in the world or in the city or in the country, right, people, how they get over, if we take politics aside, so you socialize, right? You don't have to have a drink. You become in a very festive mood. People sing, people dance. So I don't see this as a devil or sin. I think it's an incredible culture comes in front of everything, and that's what can save us at the end of the day, so to speak.
I hear that a lot. The arts is what wakes people up,
right?
Makes you feel alive, and really with these, sometimes in the political world, the dark times, it really is something that can save us. It can be an art form in which you're making your craft a certain way and practicing and rehearsing and then presenting, or it could be the social form, which is the fun. I think of it as fun, and there's a joy in dancing together, but also with hundreds, if not thousands, of people together. Mm-hmm. It's going to be fun, and we hope you come to the parade.
Yeah, when is the parade?
It's May 16th,
May 16th.
Our 20th year.
My God, 20 years. So what was the concept of this parade? How did you figure out how to do it? What was actual the structure?
Yeah, well, it starts on 17th Street and Avenue of the Americas. Mm-hmm. We have a ribbon cutting. We have grand marshals who represent different forms of dance. And we have Joan Myers-Brown, the founder of Philadanco, mm-hmm. Who will be cutting the ribbon at 95 years old. We also have Christine Jowers from Dance Enthusiast, Jeff Selby, a hustle dancer who is known for bringing his new style hustle to 60 countries around the world, and a DJ, Timmy Regisford. So we include DJs with the celebration as well.
And you include, so speaking of our traditions now, that you do include different country, like folklore dance or culture dance?
It is what some people call a United Nations of dance.
Actually, great word. Yeah.
So we have, on Wednesday night, we celebrated International Dance Day on April 29th.
Right.
And we had a Slavic company they're based in Coney Island, and they had both Russian and Ukrainian style dances. They call it Slavic, and it was very, a lot of passion and energy, a lot of jumping, and takes a lot of skill to, especially the men who go down with their knees bent and they jump up in the air.
You have to have a severe physical therapy after that.
Maybe.
That's for sure.
And so we have Bulgarian dance, Bolivian dance, Mexican, Chinese, 110 styles of dance. It's quite, it's really the goal is not to have thousands, but it's more the diversity to show all the forms of social dancing that was being restricted, but also just to show everyone what you can do for fun, and to study an art form, and people get inspired. What is that Indian-looking thing? I want to learn Bhangra, Indian Bhangra, or I guess it could be ballet, but that takes a lot longer of a runway to develop, as you well know, I'm sure.
Yeah, it takes time, but if there's an idea and motivation, what exactly you can fit on a small stage, or what can be, why not?
Right.
That's the question. So what? My next question to you is that, so you have this United Nations of dance performing, and it's all traditional dance, and you do believe, as I can see, strongly promoting this, because we are missing that. We are the people one, right. United. So what do you think in general about traditional saving, like contemporary dance? Of course, contemporary dance changes every few years, the style and all of that, and a classical dance. What's your opinion?
I, like you said in the beginning, I don't have a formal dance background, but I have been wanting to learn really from the outside. So I'm on the board of a contemporary and a traditional ballet company, Neville Dance Theater. It's a small company, but I wanted to understand what goes into the training, the auditions, and everything. So I guess for me, I see a lot of the contemporary works being presented as, I guess if it's presented on stage, it has to be also exact and to the second performed. But I find it more artistic in a way, because they have more leeway to be creative. So as an example, on Wednesday at International Dance Day, there was the Imperial Ballroom represented, and this couple did a show ballroom piece, and I didn't quite know what that was. Have you heard of that, show ballroom? It was extremely expressive, emotional. This couple, Aka and Love, they were the world champions in show ballroom for twice in competition, and he held his hands at her feet. She stepped on them one by one, and he lifted her like this. It's not the ballroom I remember.
Yeah, I know. I actually was judging like a few years ago, because a friend of mine, he has a ballroom very successful in Jacksonville, Florida, and probably elsewhere. So I've seen majority of them, like Russian or Ukrainian dancers. They're like the top of the line. And so I came first as a guest. I was invited, and I was watching, and then my name was announced with all those pictures, because I reunited with this person like 40 years later, something like that.
Fantastic.
And then I was asked to judge the more ballistic part of this competition. And, I judged, well, maybe you don't know, but I judge around the world classical ballet and contemporary.
Right.
So I looked and I said, what am I looking for exactly? Because you need some sort of knowledge of structure. And so I was told, whatever you like. So whatever artistically you like. So I've seen people in ballroom dancing, incredible technique, very passionate to the degree that they lift you up from your chair and you want to dance with them. But the most impressive, of course, they have incredible technique, but the most impressive for me was the way they expressed the emotions. And why I am telling you that, because that's, to my opinion, Greg, this is what a dance world now is missing. It's the soul and it's the expression. Everybody going for high tech, technicalities, and they do amazing things with amazing facilities, legs up, jumps, and here and there. Sometimes I sit and I think, how is that possible to do that? Right. And but then major part where I come from, for example, is missing. It's the why are you doing this? Why?
Right. I see that in your eyes. I see that in your smile. And as dancers, that is what makes us alive. And to be able to do a craft and be creative